We are back. I want to talk about all the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds before we get into what is this? Before we get into the stables. So, I'm just looking for all my cliff notes. Let's start with the 2-year-olds. What they're up to this week, how they've been. This is an important conversation to have because we have a lot of horses that had trained last week and are on their way back. So we're going to start with Adrenaline Rush. I just got off the phone with Bob McClure. He said he will go to Sarnia. So much he likes this colt now. Harry had asked him to drive No Free Lunch. Mario's going to drive some also, but Bob was going to go with Adrenaline Rush, and he said he would. So his start will be next week in Sarnia. I know Kevin trained him in 58, and he was very, very good. He'll have him as tight as he can go, but I think it's most important that we have these horses healthy. They're healthy now. They're going to race in Sarnia. So a round of applause, so to speak, for Kevin and Harry and Mario and Jason's barn, and Johnny has some horses over there. You know, it's tough. It's tough. We feel the stress. Everybody feels the stress when the horses aren't racing, especially I do. When I get emails from people saying, when is this horse going to be in to go? And it's hard to explain to somebody they're not ready, right? When they were. Horse like Adrenaline Rush won 154 a month ago almost, or whenever the hell it was. You know, to tell people he's just not ready yet. It's hard to comprehend, and for analytical people, it's hard to absorb because you may not see the virus floating around. You might not see it everywhere. But if you look close, you can see the horses that race sick. You can see the horses that are sick. You can see the horses that are scratch sick, and they can't hide from it. So I'm glad we get over it. I'm glad our horses seem to have bounced back well. Kevin said Adrenaline Rush trained great the other day. Barbie's Crown is coming back in Monday. I apologize, Steve. I said that would happen last week. She will be back in the barn Monday morning. I'm going to text the girl right now to tell them she's coming. Beef and Cheddar trained well again. I think he went 2 minutes last quarter in 28. Johnny went with him, if I'm not mistaken. He said he was good. He's going to Sarnia on Saturday. I would like to see another good mile out of them on Tuesday. Not 2 minutes, but maybe 2.5, 2.6 at the farm would be good. So Beef and Cheddar is going to be racing Saturday also. Braemar is ready to go, but I'm going to be completely honest with everybody. If I don't see 150 pounds in that horse, he's not racing. So there's no point in racing this horse skinny. Johnny said he's eating well now. He's putting weight on. He feels good. So he's going to race. He's ready to go, but I'm not racing him when he's skinny. And people might say, well, he needs to eat more, or you need to, I get people all the time sending me, he needs to eat yeast, or he needs more high-fat, high-fiber chunks. It's not like I'm just sitting at home saying, oh, I need to get him to eat. I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray tonight that he eats. We have people looking at him. We're trying to get him to eat. The fact of the matter is, he's a big, strong colt. He's a stud in the heat of the summer, and he hasn't carried weight real good all year. So we're trying to put it on him right now, and if he won't, he's going out to the field. I told Johnny I need to know by Tuesday or Wednesday if he hasn't put sufficient weight on. Now, I can't expect him to put 150 pounds on the weight in a week. But if I don't hear, he's put probably 10, 20 pounds on. If I don't see that happening, he's going out to eat some grass for a couple of weeks. This is a nice colt. And, obviously he's not here in Pennsylvania. He's not in the Sire Stakes. He's eligible to a number of big races, but I can assure you one thing. He will not be able to be ready for them if he's racing skinny, and he certainly won't be able to race in them racing skinny. So it's most important that we get Braemar. Now that we got him back healthy and going good, it's important that Braemar puts on some weight. Bettor's Hope, we've turned Bettor's Hope out for the season. Trained him in 59 at the farm. Watched him go. I was there the day I was there. I thought he looked good, but he was still running in. A little bumpy in the corners. So Bettor's Hope is out in the field for the fall. Blue Monk will be coming back in soon to resume jogging. Get him ready for the fall. Brilliant Corners. He trained great the other day. I told everybody in a video the other day. Everybody told me how well horses trained. Harry, Kevin, Johnny. They were all talking about horses, but when everybody was done talking about how they trained well, everybody circled back to Brilliant Corners and told me how good he trained this week. So I'm really excited to see how Brilliant Corners races. It would be unfair to think they're not a little short, but they are healthy. They are good coming in. So we'll see how they race on Saturday. Broadway Roll, a lot of people asked me, and Pete had asked me, where's Broadway Roll? You said she trained good. She did. Kevin was wanting to take her to Clinton next Sunday, and people might say, oh, if they go for no money at Clinton, we could put her at Mohawk and watch her get the shit kicked out of her if you want. She's not good enough to race at Mohawk right now. She's not a Mohawk filly. She can pace 57, 58, somewhere around there. And I'd like to let her mature. I'm not in a big hurry to dump Broadway Roll. This is a filly that came to us as an $8,000 yearling or $9,000 or whatever it was. My expectations were low with this filly. I'm going to race her easy throughout the summer and into the fall. And if you know what? If I want to race in the winter, I might do that too. She's got 2 starts right now. 2 starts, I think, lifetime. 1, 2, 3, something like that. She's got lots of room to move, and she'll be fine in the classes. But we need to race her where she can win. Do I want to ship to Clinton and race for nothing? No. But I want to see her get a win. I want to see her get back on track. That's exactly what she's going to do next week. Cambridge Star is out for a little bit more. I said one thing to Sean. Tell me when he's fat. He was always skinny, much like Braemar. And I said, just call me when he's fat. That's what I want to know. So they're working on putting some weight on him. You might say, oh, can he go out with Braemar? No. Braemar's a stud, and he would literally eat Cambridge Star. I would call Sean, and Sean would say, I don't know, I went to bed and there was 2 horses in the field. Now there's 4 shoes and 1 horse. Some tail sticking out of Braemar's mouth. That's what would happen if we turned them out together. So we will get Braemar out and get some weight on him, but Cambridge Star is getting some weight on right now. Can't Muscle Me went out to the field. A lot of people saying, well, why do we keep Can't Muscle Me? Just so I'm abundantly clear with Can't Muscle Me, this is a filly that I thought had tons of talent and a great attitude. Her knees bothered her. We stopped her, put her in the stall for 3 weeks, and turned her out. And she's going to stay out there for a little while longer, and then we are going to bring her back in. And that is what's going to happen with Can't Muscle Me. I never once ever said to myself, I just don't think she's good enough. Never crossed my mind, because she is good enough. She's shown talent. I really like this filly, and she's more than enough reason to turn her out and wait for her. Captain's Maid's great again, drew the outside. Now she has a Stallion Series coming up also. They must have them both next week, do they? Next Saturday? They must. Can't Muscle Me is, unless they have it somewhere else, I have to double check. The plan with Can't Muscle Me is race her this week and race her in the Stallion Series next week. That's the plan with her. If she does well in both, she's 5-2 morning line into the 9 holding with aged horses, so I suspect she'll be okay. She's no stranger to drawing 9. I can't believe she drew 9 again. So Captain's Maid will be fine on, I think, Wednesday, and then the Stallion Series the following week. If she does well there, it's a month later to the Keystone Classic. We will probably try her in there because actually this year it's jammed in the middle of a bunch of bigger races, so I don't think you're going to see any killers there. Aaron Merriman told me right to his face the other day he thinks she'll pace 54 right now. I think 54 at the Meadows is more than enough for those classes coming up. So I suspect we'll have a good run with Captain's Maid after the Keystone Classic. We'll shut her down, turn her out, and hope, and I would imagine she's going to come back a good horse. She's a Captain Treacherous, she's well-bred, and she's got the right attitude. Aaron says every time you call on her, she's pacing all she can, which really wasn't the way she trained down. You had to really, chase her, but she's figured out how to win now. She's a winner. So Captain's Maid, that's a trajectory for her moving forward. Carry a Big Stick. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how much I liked Carry a Big Stick. How much I like him. I put his sister by Wishing Stone on my list of horses to go look at in the first sale coming up. There's only 2 horses I like in that sale. 2. I may as well tell you. One is a Donato, which nobody's really going to look at. And the other one is this Wishing Stone filly. I like horses that try. Carry a Big Stick, yeah, God didn't gift him with a lot of talent, I think. I think he can go some, but I guess not talent as much as put together right. If we could somehow take that right hind leg off and put another one on there, I think he'd be fine. More specifically, his foot. A little clubby on that right foot when you shoe him. He's a little tender after you shoe him. Should we still have him? I wanted to give him a chance. If you guys have been with me long enough, I will always stick up for horses that try. I will always stick up for horses that want to do their work and want to do more, and I'll always give them a chance to succeed or fail. And that's where I'm at with Carry a Big Stick. I like him. I like his attitude. I like his tenacity. Do I think he's good enough? I have no idea. I'll know soon enough. We'll know soon enough. So that's where we're at with Carry a Big Stick. Does he stay? Does he go? That'll be up to Stick. But I'm going to give him every opportunity to stay. Cut the Line will come back in another 3 weeks or so. She's out in the field. Her knees were bothering her. Not shocking. Her brother Brushcut is getting a bit of a bad rap. His knees bothered him as a 2-year-old also. Now, we'll get to him in another segment. I don't want to focus on somebody's brother. We're focusing on this filly. She qualified in 58. Her knees were bothering her. We turned her out and let them fill in. If she comes back, good, fine. If she doesn't, then we'll likely be talking about her and Hoofbit at some point. But for now, Cut the Line is safe and we're just waiting for her to come back. Desperado, my God, he's lazy. You really got to chase him and chase him and chase him. But that was a huge mile the other night. 57-2 on a little fair track. It's a huge mile. Desperado, I thought, raced great. He's got the trailing post in another fair this week. I suspect you're going to see an abundance of fairs moving forward, and then we'll shut him down if we want to. I think Desperado, listen, the world's his oyster. He's got talent. If he wants to be a good horse, great. If he doesn't, then he's going to go. But so far, so good with him. I mean, I know he hasn't bankrolled a ton of money, but at the same time, I'd love to see him take a mark of 57 as a 2-year-old. That would be cool. He's definitely got the ability. So we're going to focus on what he hopefully will do and not what he just quite hasn't yet. Eternity Road will be out for another little while. There's no rush with this colt. I have 2020 aspirations with him. Certainly nothing in 2020. So if you're saying to yourself, will he make it back in November? No, he will not. December? Probably not. No. We're looking at early winter or late winter, early spring with Eternity Road. First Glance looked great the other day. He's going to be going to Sarnia on Saturday also. Mario's done a great job at this colt. If you think back to how he looked around mid-May, how he was making breaks and being bully and ignorant, and how far he's come and how good he looks now. Mario's just done a great job with him. Fox Valley Britska drew the outside on Wednesday. It's been Indiana's been in a bit of disarray. We sent the horses to Doug. Italian Grit gets sick again, but I think it's mostly allergies. This horse, if he had done this after Grand River, if he hadn't qualified well and we saw that mucus, he would have been in the field. But he came to Indiana, he came to Ohio, he trained good, he got a little sick here. We got him healthy, shipped him out to Doug. He didn't get over it as quickly as we wanted. We raced him twice. Then the other day he let go the last quarter, scoped him, full of mucus, but it was like allergy mucus. So Doug's trying to work with him and get him under control. If he can't, he'd be leaving Indiana and going out to the field. And I know, I think Tom, myself, and Mark are the majority owners of this horse, and we just want to see the horse do well and have the best horse we can from Italian Grit. I think we will, but it's just going to take some time. So if he doesn't race, if he goes to train him, he says, that mucus is still there, I'm just going to pull him, send him right to the farm. We'll get him ready again and race him in late fall, early winter, but I suspect there's speed there with this horse. If allergies are going to plague him, we have the remedy for that also. He's going to need a little time. Where are we at now? Furley Fringes is back now. She just come back in on Thursday, so she's going to start back up at the barn. Girls with Swirls is out for another little bit longer. We'll bring her back in probably, September-ish. We'll bring her back in and get her back going. Gray is a New Red is going to train tomorrow in 212, I'd say 211, 212 with Jason. We'll see how she bounces back. GW Chrome, now he cut his leg. He was still lame the other day. He was lame for about 3 or 4 days. Not only could we not race him in the Sire Stakes, he was lame for a bit. Better today, but he has been in the stall for the last 3 days. I'm going to jog him Monday morning, see how he is. He will recover. I mean, there's no huge laceration. It's just a bad cut in the middle of his heel, and it hurts. Probably a little puncture wound. It hurts. They had drawn some fluid out of there and taken a test, and there was no, his white count wasn't high. They suspect there's no infection there, which is important. So we'll start jogging him tomorrow. Holy Chick is jogging. She can start training next end of the month. She can start training at Tamiko. Mario has her and just loves her. She's a likable horse, so it's not that shocking. He likes her. How did I jump? I think I got Italian Grit and Fox Valley Britska mixed up. I'm sorry. Fox Valley Britska, circling back, I'm sorry. Fox Valley Britska raced okay his first start back off the virus last week. He drew the 10 hole, I think 9 or 10 hole this weekend with fillies. We'll see how he does, but outside posts are never good at any track. Now we are at Italian Grit. I told everybody, so circle back if you want to look at what I was talking about. I get mixed up. But Italian Grit, if he needs a little time, we'll give him a little time. We'll see more this week when he trains him up again. At Glare AM, Johnny's getting her ready in Toronto. Not a ton to get her ready for, but I would like to see a couple of races into her this fall. This is a filly that we had some hopes for, and I think we still do. Just bad timing. She tied up, then she gets sick, and we missed. We missed a good month with her, which virtually spells the end of the stake season for her. So we're going to try and get her ready, race her a few times, and probably shut her down. But we'll see. We'll see this week how she trains. I'm a Lovely Lady raced out of her skin. First and second start with the hobbles on 10 days ago. She has to be first or second this Friday. A big week coming up for her. I'm Hill on Wheels. Unfortunately, got injured this week. a small tear in his left hind suspensory. I suspect that's been there for a long time. So we're going to treat it the same way we did Johan. We had great success with that. Cool it out, clean it out, cryo it, and gallop him for a while. And I think that's what we're going to do with I'm Hill on Wheels. Now, for those of you who have shares in I'm Hill on Wheels or have been following him, he had some issues throughout the year. No CD that we couldn't remove, another one that we couldn't remove. They were in bad spots. But he raced at Mohawk. I think he trotted in 59. He looked good. So he's already proven he can get over those issues. This one here will help him get over. I think it's just a maturity thing. We'll probably have him ready later. Not this year. He'll be ready in 2021. Jazzy Judy, I trained her in 223 the other day. She's getting close. She's in Ohio. Not close. We want to have her ready for the end of the month. I would like to have her qualified by September 10th. And I would like to have her in Delaware, the state, for her first stake on September 23rd. But she looked good the other day training. Jesse Balboa, I think we've decided to turn him out. Everybody that goes to him likes him, but why? Why do we need to keep going with Jesse Balboa? Turn him out and have him ready for the winter, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Keystone Raven is back jogging, looking real good. She'll start training again the end of the month, same as Holy Chick. They both get injured around the same time. Both been swimming and jogging, so they'll start training her the end of the month. Let's Roll On is out at Mark's Farm right now, running around, growing up, hopefully. Again, I'm always going to stick up for horses that want to do their work right, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I enjoy driving a horse tried his hardest. I try my hardest. You guys work hard, and I expect the horses to, and Let's Roll On does. For him to get around those little fairs the way he did was impressive, and I want to see what he's going to be like next year. If he still has that hike and that interfering behind, then fine. I was wrong. We'll sell him. But as of right now, I can tell you that if he finds a way to get away from interfering, be a nice little horse for next year, I think. Miss Meringue continues to race good. She's fourth the other day. That was a track record at that fair. Yeah, she was tired on the end of it, but 58-1 at the half will suck the life out of anybody, wouldn't it? So I think Miss Meringue will look for another fair bounce back with her next week. But she's doing her work well. We're taking her along nicely. When the fairs are done, we might race her in the last Buckeye or two, and then the fairs, she'll have enough races, more than enough races and experience. Put her away happy. See what we got next year. Her breeding should come out at that point. Mama Knows Best looked absolutely astonishingly good training the other day. 58 last half and like 56 in a piece, 57. I thought she was very, very good. But at the same time, we're going to aim for the Constellation and the last two Buckeyes with her. I'm trying to think, did I go in 58 or did I go in 22? Whatever I reported that day, that's what we did. A lot goes missing out of my head in 72 hours, other than air. Other things, information escapes me sometimes. So Mama Knows Best trained well this week. I think it was 58. Mama Knows Best trained well this week, and she'll do very well, I think, in the last two Buckeyes. Momo is in to go at Henry County Fair on Tuesday. I'd like to get a good race into her. Yeah, she hasn't had the greatest year. This is a tough place. Everywhere's a tough place for pacers. It appears that if you can pace in 52 as a 2-year-old, you're good. You'll be fine. And if you can't, it's a tough year. So I think Momo, is trying to find her best foot. My Jazz found hers. The underdog of the year, My Jazz, got more money made than any of her horses in Ohio, and she looks very, very good going into the next Sire Stakes next Friday. No Free Lunch will be going. Here's an update. I said to Harry, just hold on. No Free Lunch hasn't raced in a month. I'd rather not go to the Golds with this horse's next start. If he's good enough, he'll get in the final. But other horses maybe bounce back quicker, haven't been sick. The Golds are still going to go in 51, 52 at Mohawk. Let's go to the grassroots with this horse next Saturday. We're going there anyway with all the other horses. Why don't we bring this horse? So that's exactly what we're going to do. No Free Lunch will making grassroots debut Saturday at Sarnia. Northern Blizzard will qualify on Tuesday, and then he will race in the Sire Stakes on the 29th, I believe. Been a long way back with this guy, but by the way he trained the other day, Johnny was telling me how good he was. Harry told me how good he was. Even Kevin McMaster told me how good Northern Blizzard looked. Pretty good feeling. So we'll qualify him on Tuesday heading into his next Sire Stake. Like to get a mile in 59, 2 minutes with him on Tuesday if that's possible. I listed Mario on him because I don't know where the next Sire Stakes is. But we'll see how he does on Tuesday. Off-Road Hanover, he's not going to come back in for a few weeks yet. This horse was probably one of the worst allergy horses we had. Full of redness, full of irritation, full of pimples. He's going to be our fall and winter horse for sure this year. Lots of talent, great gait, decent breeding. let's give him all the tools to be the best horse he can. First step would be getting rid of the allergies. That would be helpful. Where are we at? Perfect record. Johnny says, and Mario says he doesn't need the hobbles now. Qualifying Tuesday. Big update on perfect record. Qualifying Tuesday with no hobbles. When I saw him go, when I was back home a month ago, he certainly needed the hobbles. So he's come a long way in a month. Mario said, I think he can get around any size track without hobbles right now. Okay, challenge accepted. You are down to drive him Tuesday at Mohawk with no hobbles on. Rose Run, why not? I'm so eager to get this filly ready to go. She's going to make the last two Buckeyes also. And I trained her the other day. I come off and said, this is how I remember this filly. She looked powerful the other day training. I'm going to go mile 2.9, 2.10 tomorrow. I suspect she'll look similarly powerful. And give me 2 weeks. 2 more weeks with her. She'll be ready to go. Roy Hill. A little disappointed with the break. I can see it's a tight track. He made a break fine. He got roughed up to start before that. But he's going to have to bounce back this week. I don't like the horse's attitude. It frustrates me. But at the same time, he does have talent. Lots of horses are the same way. Without being too rude to anybody's breed, right? The Racing Hills seem to be problematic. From my own... And I'm going to say uneducated assessment because I haven't looked at all the numbers. I haven't looked at all the Racing Hills, so please don't take it for what it is. I do have 2. Both of them seem the same. They approach racing in that same matter-of-fact way. And not my favorite attribute. So Roy Hill is going to be in at a fair. If he gets around the fair, he'll be just fine on Tuesday. Set the Moods, back jogging now. He looked good. I saw him the other day. He looks sound. He is huge. He's a very, very big horse. I hope Harry trains his horse back and likes him because he's a likable horse. He trained down well. You could see he was bumpy and never sound training down, but he was always there to play. He was always tough and ready to work. So I'm interested to see how he's going to train back. So Admirable is in on Tuesday. A lot of high hopes coming from Kevin. He's got a lot of praise for this filly. So I'm eager to see what she's going to do on Tuesday. Yeah, she might be a little short. And I know Travis actually asked me. I'd called him the other day to talk about a horse. And he asked me point blank where So Admirable was. He was rather taken by her first start, and I want to see what this week's going to bring for her. Cyrus Blue Chip. He's in to go. I think Kevin said Hanover or Clinton next week. People might again. I don't want to hear the collective sighs from people saying, "Oh, they don't race for any money." Okay, well, I'm gonna go race at Mohawk. Get $0 for sure if you want. I want to put the horses. You're going to get more experience winning races than you are getting the shit beat out of you. Excuse my language, but that's the truth. And Source Blue Chip, whatever the hell you want to call him, a horse that I like his attitude. I think he's well bred, but we have to cultivate him and bring him along properly. You can want him ready. You can want him to race in New York. You can want him to win Sire Stakes. He doesn't care what you want, right? He's a racehorse. He's here. He's learning it all for the first time. He came up sick. If you look the night Braemar was second in 55, that horse was looking for room. Pace 57, I think, 56, 57, and looked good doing it. So let's take best care we can of Cyrus and get him in to go this week at Hanover or Clinton. 100% on board with Kevin on that. Stacy Hanover, Mario said she's trotting great. She is going to be racing, or not racing, she's going to be training at Mohawk this week, I believe. I'm very interested. I might actually ask. So don't worry, Mohawk. Amy's going to have her negative COVID-19 test back by then. So I'm going to ask Amy to go over and maybe take a video of Stacy Hanover. I want to see how this filly looks. Because I saw her in the barn the other day. She's huge. She got really, really big. And this is a filly that I'm not surprised. She's not going to maybe make it at 2 or maybe later on in the fall, but she's not going to be a stake filly at 2. Not surprising. But at the same time, I'm interested to see how she's going to close out the year. Really, really interested. Sunshine of May, first over, finished 3rd today in Clinton. We all know she's not a great filly. She's okay. You know, at some point, we'll race her into the fall, and at some point, we'll probably sell her. But for now, 3rds at Clinton, although it's probably a net loss today, a good mile for her. First over at the quarter pole from 6th, out the whole way, and raced rather well. So I get no complaints with Sunshine of May today. Sweet Ambitions, Mario said, can I keep this filly? I really like her. She got over the virus. He trained her without hobbles on. He said she's great. So I said, yeah, go ahead. You know, I'm the vast majority owner of Sweet Ambitions. Put her into qualified. Do whatever you want. Let me know how it works out. So Sweet Ambitions is, Mario's taking a real shine to her, and I'm happy. You know, he's a good judge of character too. So I want to see how this is gonna play out. Tanzanite Tricks. A lot of people have asked me, when's he in to go? When's she in to go? When's she in to go? She get over the virus. She's going to be in to go maybe not even this week. I know Kevin was going to train her in. He asked for a training spot for Tanzanite Tricks on Wednesday, so I suspect next weekend at the earliest for her. That's my girl. Made a little break last week. Doug's got her back. I know there's a little trepidation there. People are like, can we use Trace? Or these people have horses in this class, and there are other people we could have used, but Doug understands the mechanics of the filly. I think I would have even lost her the other day in the place she was in. It wasn't a bad place. The horse on the front came back to him right as they were starting to come out of the turn. And I know what that's my girl's like. She gets a little anxious. Think about all the training trips we had where she made breaks coming out of the last turn. The exact same place. Because she gets anxious. She wants to bolt forward. She touches herself and makes a break. Now, had the horse not come back to her and she just could have easily, gradually come up to that horse coming out of the turn, 100% certain she doesn't make a break. But that's not how it went. So I feel bad for Doug. It's a lot of pressure on him. I hope he does better this week. I will be there next week. I will be in Indiana next week for the Sire Stakes. Tipsy and Dixie, I told you guys all about it. I fessed up. I made a mistake. I forgot to enter her in the grassroots. We put her in the gold. She drew the 9-hole, which is trailing position at Grand River Raceway. Only saving grace is it is a half. It is a place she took her lifetime mark. She is coming in good. I texted Sylvain. He said, no problem. I'm sure she'll be fine. So we'll race her on Wednesday. Walk on the Moon had a fantastic race the other day. He's coming into the Sire Stakes as sharp as he can be. Looks really, really good. Can't wait to watch him race Thursday. Some bad news from where we was up. He actually had a little injury that's probably going to cost him the rest of the year. Just one of those things. He was sick. We were training him back and developed a little hole in his tendon. And we can't pretend it's not there. The vet has a way to treat it. And the prognosis is pretty fair to good. So what we're going to do is give him time, cryo it, bring him back. He'll probably see where we was up in spring of 2021. So it's unfortunate, but these are athletes, and athletes do get hurt sometimes. So where we was up, the one thing I know about him is he's tough, and I'm not as much worried about his injury as other ones that have come up in the past. I'm sure he'll make it back. Were we welcome in the grassroots on Tuesday? She should be fine. Really interested to watch her race. Welland Downs Tuesday at the Henry County Fair. Didn't get around Urbana very good, but we'll see how she gets around Henry. Napoleon, it's called, on Tuesday. And then Won My Heart Hanover will probably come in towards the end of the month. We'll start her back up and get her back jogging. So that's a rather long list, but I think it was important that we talked about all these 2-year-olds, where they're at, where they're going, a couple that were injured, and when the other ones will be in to go. I hope you found it informative. I'll be back in a minute with the 3-year-olds.